This is Villa View. Coming up, the latest on the Charlie Adam bid, and we talk Bent Mania. Hello and welcome to Villa View. I'm Paul Bradley and I'm joined in the Fort Dunlop studios by Matt Kendrick. Hi Matt.
Hello.
Before we talk Bent Mania, let's just touch on the Charlie Adam latest. There's been a few conflicting reports today about mighty or mighty not come to Villa Park. What have you heard?
The Charlie Adam thing's come back to the top of the agenda now that the Darren Bent deal is obviously done and dusted and everybody's getting the breath back from that. My latest understanding, this was as of yesterday evening, was that Villa had reached a point where they think they've been more than fair with their valuation of Charlie Adam. Obviously they had a 2.5 million bid turned down and then a 3.5 million bid that was eventually turned down after Ian Holloway said a few nasty things about Villa. It's my personal hunch that Villa might have been prepared to push it to £4.5 million if they were getting encouragement from Blackpool. That would be enough. Now, what I'm led to believe at the moment is Blackpool are giving Villa no signs that will be anywhere near enough. They're digging their heels in, as is their prerogative. He's their player. He's under contract to them. My latest understanding is that Villa have reached a point where they think, yeah, he's a good player, we like him, but we don't like him as much as you say he's worth, if you get what I'm saying.
There's plenty of competition in the Villa midfield, though, for those two spaces, so Villa fans shouldn't be too concerned about this Charlie Adam bid maybe falling through.
No, I think that's the crucial thing. I think with Darren Bent, Villa were in desperate need of a striker. They got down to the bare bones, really, weren't they? With Emil Heskey being suspended for a couple of games, John Carew being not exactly flavour of the month, shall we say, with Gerard Houllier. Gabriel Bonlahorn not being in great form, goal scoring wise, and that left you with Nathan Delfonso. So you can understand the need for the striker. Now in midfield, there's not quite that urgent need. I mean, I'm sure Houllier wants to add extra quality in there, but in terms of the resources, he's got Stilian Petrov, Fabian Delph, Nigel Reo-Coker, Jean McCoon, sooner rather than later, we hope. Barry Bannon, Jonathan Hogg, and obviously Ashley Young plays in central midfield stroke attacking areas now as well. So I think Villa think, well, just because we've splashed out a record fee on Darren Bent doesn't mean we're suddenly kind of going to be taken for a ride by clubs and suddenly mean we're going to pay over the odds for clubs. So I think they're going to be content to wait if needs be.
And what about Darren Bent then? You spoke to him, you had kind of had a bit of a chance to speak to him one-to-one at Acorns in Selly Oak. What's your feeling on the mood of the player at the moment? Yeah,
he was a lot more relaxed when we met him at Acorns yesterday afternoon. I mean, obviously on Tuesday night with the glare of all the kind of flashbulbs going off and such a kind of big press contingent wanting to get the inside track on what's going on, I think he was a little bit perhaps more nervous there and a little bit more reluctant to say too much. Yesterday the local press got him on a more informal basis at Acorns and he came across very well. I know he's been kind of painted as this kind of money grabbing mercenary in the North East, and I can fully understand Sunderland fans not wanting to lose a player, a goal scoring hero. But my take on it, and I can only speak as I find, was he's a charming individual. He seems to have his head screwed on. He does seem to genuinely be in it for football as well as money, because you name a Premier League footballer who doesn't want to make as much money out of the game as they can. But he seems a little bit humbled, as I've written in the Birmingham Mail today. He seems humbled by the kind of Bent mania that seems to be gripping Villa. He says that both himself and his mum are a little bit embarrassed by all the headlines and all the fuss that he seems to be generating. But if you're going to be a top goal scorer and you can generate transfer, you're going to be involved in transfer deals like that, and you might see your mug across the paper and across the telly occasionally. But fingers crossed, he talks a good game, and let's hope he can play a good game, starting with Man City on Saturday.
And Houlier's gone straight into, from the press conference, put a little bit of pressure on him, saying that he's expected to score almost.
Yeah, no pressure there. I think he's got a decent record of scoring goals on his debuts, I understand. So, interestingly, we got him on the subject of penalty taking when we spoke to him yesterday. I think he's got a pretty good record. I think he reckons he's only missed 3 in the Premier League, and they were all against Gomez at Tottenham last season, 2 of which were in the same game. So we're speaking to him, and he was saying he's been having a bit of banter with Ashley Young, saying, "Oh, go on, Ash, my debut. If we get one, you've got to let me stick it away. I'm sure the manager would probably let him as well. It's a big deal for the manager, this. So the sooner he can score his goals, however they come, the better, really.
Just briefly before we go, any news on John Carew? Because there's still a fair bit of interest of whether the Villa and Holt End favourite is going to leave the club or not.
Well, I do think he'll be out of the door within the next 48 hours. Now, if you'd have asked me this a couple of hours ago, I'd have said he's kind of definitely on his way to West Bromwich Albion. My information was that a deal was close for him to go to Albion, that it would have been a loan deal, and that Albion would have taken on all of his wages and stipulated that he wouldn't be involved in the game at the Hawthorns, which I think is in April, when Albion play Villa. That still could happen. I still think that is the most likely scenario as we speak. But I'm hearing rumours, and as yet these are kind of unsubstantiated rumours, that Sunderland, of all people, the very club who are so offended by Villa's behaviour over Darren Bent, seem to there's talk of them doing business and taking, trying to get Carew themselves. Now, I don't know whether there's much truth in that at the moment. It's something we'll check out, but it certainly adds another kind of fascinating subplot to what's been a fairly remarkable week at Aston Villa.
OK, Matt, well, thanks for that today. We'll leave you now with some reaction from Villa fans who are at Villa Park for Darren Bent's arrival, and we'll see you again soon for more Villa View.
Think of the news. I think it's brilliant, you know. I mean, you know, we haven't had someone since Juan Pablo Angel. You can you can guarantee on scoring goals at any time. And you know, I mean, we've had Carew and Gabby, you know, they've hit 14, 15 goals a season, but nothing like Darren Bent, you know.
I think it's absolutely brilliant. He's a great striker. He's got a proven track record. He'll help us get out the bottom of the league. And I think he'll be a spot-on player.
A hell of a lot of goals, especially with the likes of Albrighton and Downing and Young supplying the crosses for him.
I reckon he'll bring us the goals that we need to leap up that table, and I reckon that we'll be a force to be reckoned with now.